Hi everybody! So this is the video of learning how to fill in the color and learning to pick a color scheme that goes along with your project. So this project in particular that I'm doing right now, it goes along with the Alt Ego project, but you can use this for other things as well too. So the Alt Ego project is making something that's totally different from the current character. So this is Kelpo, and we're going to choose some colors that don't necessarily go along with the Kelpo that we currently see. To start this off, I want to just quickly address the color of the lines. So the color of the lines right now, I did that so that when I went over them, that way I could make sure that they weren't like I could see what I was doing, but I don't really want them to stay pink. So I'm going to right now use the quick selection tool to highlight all of the pink lines that are on this layer. So you can see I'm on my line layer. Real quick, also, in order to make sure you can tell the difference between your layers without having to like click and turn them on and turn them off, you can simply go in and relabel them by double clicking and then typing in the name that way. So now this is labeled line, and everything is selected. You can tell everything is selected in this layer because of the little marching ants that we have here. Those little marching ants are our clue that things are selected, and only the things that are in this layer. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to go to the brush tool. You can see that I have changed the size to 5,000, so that's really big. This will help just speed up the process of things. And I want to change the color of these lines to the standard black, so I'm just going to use the default button here to make sure that black is selected. Then I'll go over Kelpo and click down, and this will turn all of his lines to black. Now that I'm ready for the color, I'm going to first start off with making a new layer. So again, as a reminder of how to do this, you're just going to click this button here. That's create a new layer, and then when you do that, it'll give you a new layer. The new layers always appear on top. So right now, so you can see the color layer would appear on top. I already had it made. And then you would rename it color. For our purposes, we're going to actually want to move that to the bottom, and you'll see why in just a moment. So it's in front of the background, but under the lines in terms of transparencies. Now we'll go to figure out what kind of colors we want to use. So I like to think about things that already exist when I think about color schemes, things that work really well. And when I thought about something that's kind of opposite from Kelpo, I thought about LSP, Lumpy Space Princess, from the amazing and wonderful Adventure Times. So you can see that it is right here. That is Lumpy Space Princess. And then what I would do next in order to get the color scheme from this is one of two things. I can save this image and then just pull directly from it. So I can show you how to do that real quick. So if I just copy the image, sorry, should have said copy instead of save. And then I'm going to create another new layer. We'll put it at the very top and just paste that in. That can go right there. I can use my dropper tool to grab the colors that are directly on it. And then if you can see down in this corner here, those colors are going to then be pulled into my paintbrush. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is going in and then saving the image. So when you hit save the image, just make sure it's something that you're going to remember. So pulled up here, and then I would click save. I already have it saved, so I'm going to click cancel. And then I'm going to open up Canva. So Canva has a couple of different options that can really help with figuring out what kind of color scheme that you want to use. One of my favorite ones is going to be this right here. So you can actually upload an image that you already have saved, and it will pull the key colors in that image to form a color scheme. So let's try it. So LSP, Lumpy Space Princess, and then upload her, and it gives us these colors here. Just immediately like that. So it picks colors based off of the image instead of just taking all of the colors in the image. Whenever you are using color schemes off of Canva 2, it gives you the option to copy the code of the color directly. So this is really nice. What you can do with this then is if I want this color on Photoshop, I can click copy. And then when I go into the Photoshop and I go to this right here down at the bottom where it has this little number sign here, that little like number sign, the hashtag, if you will, that is where the code for the number would go. So you can see like the color that I had selected from the image is right there. And then the new color, I just backspace, so it's nothing. If I hit Command Paste from the internet that I just copied, it will paste that color that was in the website that I had. So the color like code is transferable through programs. When I hit OK, then I have that in my brush. So I can just copy directly from there. Some people can go back and forth, but some people get kind of annoyed. So you'll see I did something kind of different. Up in the top here, I kind of just made some swatches of colors I want to use, and then I can use my dropper tool between those instead if I wanted. So there's two different ways of using the color here, using color here. So let's say I want to just use the swatches. I could then go into, haven't adjusted my brush tool yet. I could go into my picture of Kelpo and then just color it in. I am not going to be incredibly particular, so I just have to make sure that I stay within the lines. Because the lines are on top, I have a little wiggle room and a little room for error. When the lines are behind, you kind of mess up your lines as you go, and then it ends up being on top of everything. So you'll see if I go like that, obviously I have to be a lot more careful when I move the color line on top of the lines. And then I would just go all the way through until I was all the way done. Maybe using a couple of the colors in the color scheme. So right here, I'm going to take a pause and talk about what I'm doing. So you can see that I filled in Kelpo. I've got a couple things here and there that I need to go back and look at. But I am going to go then up here whenever I want to change color and just use my swatches from my color scheme in order to keep going. I can zoom in fairly close to see. And now one thing you can tell when I'm zooming in is you can tell the difference between the resolution. So obviously my background was a certain resolution, and then I stretched it out. And that's why we've got some of this blurriness going on. But then you can see that my paintbrush that I've been using was a different resolution because it is not blurry. So that's an important distinction, just a real small one for you guys to see. So I changed the color, and then I'm going in and then filling in the mouth. And as I'm filling in this mouth, I'm noticing like, I could go back and fix line work here and there. This is just a demo to explain how to fill in colors and how that they work under lines. So there's that. You can see when you take away the background and then the other thing, what this would look like. So you can see like, oh no, I forgot the eyeballs. I got to make sure I go back in and do those. That's always a good thing to check in, see what you've missed, what is under it might be hiding what you need to still do. So that's kind of one thing, just clicking on those eyeballs here and there. Another thing is looking for where you've made mistakes. So I can see I didn't get all of the like lavenderish color in this section here. So I need to go back in and pull some more lavender in order to fill those gaps. Ooh, gotta get a smaller brush. Right in there. Around the mouth and a couple other spaces too. Maybe I even went out of the lines in a couple spaces, as I'm sure you can see. So I'm out of the lines here, and I'm also out of the lines there. So I can go into that eraser again. And then just make sure to clean up as I need. And yeah. Okay, so right now, let's say, for instance, I want to put another color on top of Kelpo. So let's say I want a different degree of purple, like some shading going on. What I could do is I could just continue painting on top of them. But it might get a little hairy here and there if I decide like I want to change one of the colors or if I want to add something else to it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make a separate layer called highlights. Oh, wasn't typing on anything. Highlights in order to help assist me. So the highlights there, if I want to make a highlight, one thing I can do is I can just click on that color and then go to my box, and I want to move kind of in a diagonal motion going up so that it's lighter. Highlights are always lighter. So that would be my highlight color. And then maybe if I wanted, I could add in some areas of highlight, the bridge of this nose perhaps, the top of this fringe piece thing here. And because that's a separate layer, if I then decided, you know what, that's really just not the right color for what I'm going for, I can then go in, quick select that area that is only going to be that one area without getting anything else mixed into it, and change it if I need to. So keeping everything in its own layers definitely helps for clarity purposes. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is if you didn't immediately get your color scheme, there are other places you can look. So for me personally, I kind of knew what I was going for already. So I was able to quickly pull an image. I knew what I wanted, and it was quick after that. But for other people, it might not come as easy, or maybe you just don't know what direction you want to take it. So Canva does have color combinations for you already prepared. And sometimes that can be kind of fun to look at. So you can see they all consist of about 4. Let's say I wanted to say a little bit more monochromatic. Then it'll show you the image that it referenced and kind of and all the codes that go along with it. It also gives you things that are related. So maybe it's not quite what you wanted, but it's along the same lines. And that can kind of help you get into the rabbit hole that you want to be in order of finding the right color schemes for you. So I hope this video was helpful, and this will then move on to some bigger things here soon.